Coming up on ECG, Mark Miller, Hire Me.
We're Spl-At again with a list of shows.
The Terminator is Terminated.
Ubisoft? More like Ubi Park or Themesoft?
All this and more coming up on the East Coast Geek Podcast. Welcome to episode 39 of the East Coast Geek Podcast for Monday, October 5th, 2015, where we bring you the latest news on comics, movies, and gaming. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me, as always, is Opu. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I guess I'm okay.
Oh, that's good.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I know we didn't record a show on Friday, so we're making it up. But
the high point of my week went by.
Yeah, well, work schedules and all that, I had to take care of some stuff, so.
I know, the responsibilities and being adults.
Yeah. So anyways, what have you been doing this week? Anything so far?
Well, it's only Monday, so
Yeah.
This is technically my first Saturday since I get 3 days off in a row. So what did I do today? I watched a bunch of anime because I'm a cool kid like that. But hey, can you see my shirt? Don't look at the boobies, but look at the picture.
Yeah.
See the shirt? I got my Mighty Number 9 shirt in from being a donor, a Kickstarter.
Oh, finally. Well, that's good.
So at least there's that. And I did get to play the demo some. It was about halfway through the demo that you told me, hey, by the way, Genius, you could probably connect your Xbox One controller and you might have less trouble because I know your keyboard doesn't work very well. So, it's fun. I mean, I hope that this isn't the cutscenes and stuff. The characters kind of stand there. I'm hoping they're going to be a little bit more animated when the final result comes in. You don't see many changes in expression. It's fully voiced, so it's not like a lot of subtitles or whatever you want to say on there.
Right.
And it's English voices, so that's another plus. It looks good. The controls are pretty good. It doesn't really hold your hand too much about. It's like 50-50 on that. It will tell you, hey, this is how you use one of the abilities. But then you get to a boss fight and you're like, oh, by the way, the bosses, the only way you can really weaken them is by using one of your abilities that we told you about earlier. But it gives you like a really tiny hint, a clue when you're supposed to use that ability. I died a lot on the first boss.
As most games hold your hand now.
yeah, so it's like I'm having to revert back to the old gaming ways,
Yeah.
of Legend.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, I've been streaming some Destiny, streaming some Battlefield, and I really want to stream some Heroes of the Storm again. I haven't for probably a couple of weeks, but they're about to have a big patch tomorrow, so nothing too major. Some system changes, but, well, I guess that's kind of major, but nothing huge, groundbreaking new things added to the game, so.
They're not nerfing anything that you like to use, are they?
Not that I know of. They are changing some of the systems, but it's like I said, it's kind of a lot of it's unseen by the player. They're changing how stats are affected when you level up. Your team levels up anyways, so we'll see how it turns out. A lot of people are excited for it because some of the tank characters are going to get buffed a little bit and actually bring them into more in line with being a tank-like character. So that's a good thing.
That's always a good thing when they try to make them fit the roles a little bit better.
Right. All right. Well, why don't we get into the comic news? What do you say?
Sure. I'm ready for it.
All right. The first thing we got up there is that first thing I mentioned. Mark Miller is looking for new talent.
Yes. On Monday, September 28th to November 30th, Mark Miller will be accepting writing and drawing submissions through his Miller World website. I guess it's Miller time now. Damn, I should have saved that for later.
Or for the opening, jeez.
Oh, man. That would have been even better. Anyway, one of the rules of the submission process is that you get to draw or write using Miller's own beloved characters from such blockbuster titles like Kick-Ass, Starlight, and Chrononauts. I don't know Starlight and Chrononauts. I know Kick-Ass, and I don't really like the characters, so that kind of sucks if I wanted to try to write or draw something. But, somebody might know or love these characters, so they can do whatever they want with it. Once the deadline for the talent search has passed, Miller will contact 6 artists and 6 writers by December 23rd and commission them to create new stories featuring the aforementioned characters. He'll also be paying them Marvel and DC starter rates, which I should have looked up. But it's usually better than drawing in your parents' basement trying to start your own webcomic like I've tried about 15 times now. And the stories will be published next year and for every year thereafter in the first annual Miller World New Talent Showcase. Not only that, but the book will benefit the Hero Initiative, a program that supports comic creators in financial need, which we've discussed some creators on here that have rough times before, so I don't know if they were assisted through the initiative, but...
Well, it's interesting. I mean, that's a really, really open way to recruit new talent. Kind of I guess I would say unheard of. I mean, DC and Marvel don't hold these kind of things, right?
Not really. They have places where you can submit stuff online, but I don't know how well that process works. Most of the people that I've seen write for them that are not the big names initially are people that broke ground other places like Brian Cleavenger. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Who is most well known for Atomic Robo, which I talk on here all the time about, and 8-Bit Theater. So he's written a couple of books for them. And then I guess a lot of people will do Red 5 Comics or whoever. I'm not even sure about all the ones that aren't, Dark Horse, Marvel, DC, Image. So and Image usually lets you do your own characters, so it's... I'm excited for it. I really want to put something together. Kind of got disheartened when I had to write when one of the rules is write one of his characters as opposed to create your own. But you got to start somewhere,
Right. All right. Well, the next thing we've got is Bill Finger, one of the creators of Batman, finally begins to get his dues. And how's he doing that?
How is he doing that? Well, DC will be giving the deceased creator credit lines in both Batman vs. Superman and Gotham, which I don't know if you know, but those are kind of big names right now. Everybody's hyped about Batman vs. Superman. I guess crazy things are going on in Gotham.
Yeah, it's somewhat important to the future of comic movies.
Yeah. I mean, and this is only 75 years later after Batman's creation, or even longer. I think it's 75 years. They just celebrated Batman Day, I think last week or the week before.
Right.
But Batman co-creator artist Bob Kane negotiated a contract with National Comics, the future DC Comics, that signed away ownership of the character in exchange for, among other compensations, a mandatory byline on all Batman comics and adaptations thereof. Finger's name in contrast does not appear as an official credit on Batman stories or films. Finger began receiving limited acknowledgement for his writing work in the 1960s. Yeah, and this entire story is just a massive screw you to your buddy that helped you out. Well, I don't like to last this long on a story, but this stuff needs to be known to people, especially if you're a Batman fan but you don't know the creators that well. In 1989, Kane acknowledged Finger as a contributing force in the character's creation and wrote, "Now that my longtime friend and collaborator is gone, I must admit that Bill never received the fame and recognition that he deserved." And I'm going to paraphrase here, that I cut him out of.
Yeah,
he was an unsung hero. I often tell my wife, if I could go back 15 years before he died, I would like to say, I'll put your name on it now. You deserve it.
Oh, all of a sudden, huh?
All of a sudden, yeah.
We've got a picture of Bill Finger, a little bit older. I would assume this is probably... when did he pass away?
I'm
putting you on the spot,
did I
sorry.
write it down? I'm sorry. You caught me off guard.
Yeah, sorry.
He passed away in 1979, I believe.
Okay, so this is
59.
probably Oh, okay, yeah. So this is him just a little bit older, probably.
Yeah.
I'd say about a decade or so before his death or whatever. But and then this next picture we've got is that's Kane, right?
Yeah, that's Kane. That's old Caney boy. I mean, kind of an ironic nickname, right?
Right.
Having his brother in the back. But Finger recalled that Kane had an idea for a character called Batman, and that he would like me to see the drawings. I went over to Kane's, and he had drawn a character who looked very much like Superman, with kind of reddish tights, I believe, with boots, no gloves, no gauntlets, and a small domino mask, which it's like this only.
Yeah.
Like Spirit, Phantom, Robin wears them, Green Arrow wears them. Anyways, he was swinging on a rope. He had two stiff wings sticking out, looking like bat wings, and under it was a big sign, Batman. Big, yeah.
That's funny.
Which you can kind of see in the original Batman, the first cover of Detective Comics, which we don't have with us because I don't have foresight. Finger said he offered such suggestions as giving the character a cowl and scallop cape instead of wings. You know, we all know what Batman's cape looks like. So the scallop, the segmented sections.
Right.
Adding gloves, leaving the mask eye holes blank to connote mystery, and removing the bright red sections of the original costume, suggesting instead a gray and black costume scheme or color scheme. Finger additionally said his suggestions were influenced by Lee Flock's The Phantom, a syndicated newspaper comic strip character which Kane was familiar with as well. Finger, who said he also devised the character's civilian name, Bruce Wayne, wrote the first Batman story while Kane provided the art. So basically, the guy came up with the name Batman, and Finger did everything else, from what it sounds like. Finger's contemporary artist and writer Jerry Robinson, who worked with Kane from the beginning, said Bill had more to do with the molding of Batman than Bob. He just did so many things at the beginning, creating almost all the other characters, the whole persona, the whole temper. And when I'm talking about other characters, I'm talking like the Two-Faces, the Jokers, all of those.
Right, his rogues gallery.
Yeah, pretty much his rogue gallery. I think he did Commissioner Gordon. I think he eventually helped create Robin. My God. Jim Lee, which is a well-known Batman artist, I think he writes as well. Geez, I'm so bad at my names right now. Has called this overdue, by about, 74 years overdue, but whatever.
Right.
But to be fair to DC, they've had to apparently work out a lot of legal stuff behind the scenes that Jim Lee was unable to go into details about. But pretty much every fan and creator out there agrees with him because, you don't do your bro like this,
Right.
And I highly doubt, I wonder if his family's going to get any kind of monetary compensation retroactively. But, that's a lot of money. I wish I had looked up the how much the Batman franchise itself has made for DC and Warner Brothers, but
it's probably a ton.
Yeah, I'm sure that they've made almost as much money as Batman is rich in the comics.
I think the Joker burned it all in what was that, The Dark Knight Rises, right?
No, just The Dark Knight.
Oh, The Dark Knight. That's
Batman
right.
Begins, The Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I get them mixed up. I think I've watched the third one, once, but I watched that second one about 100,000 times because of Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah, it was really good. And let's not go on to Rises, okay? Let's just not go into Rises.
Right.
Anyways, Bill Finger's name has provided the basis for the Bill Finger Award, founded by Jerry Robinson, who we mentioned earlier, and presented annually at the San Diego Comic-Con International to honor excellence in comic book writing. And like I said earlier, unfortunately, Bill Finger's not around to see this. He passed away in 1974 at the age of 59. So, too little, too late in my eyes. It's long overdue. It's well deserved. And, dude, why do that to your buddy?
Yeah. Well, buddy's only half a word. You know that one, right?
That's true.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the movies. There's a lot of stuff in there we got coming up.
Definitely.
All right.
That always reminds me of high school band.
And how terrible
Somehow I
it
sound
was.
like that's my trumpet playing.
All right, Jessica Jones teasers galore, man. Well, we've gotten 2 of them now. Her laying in the bed and then destroying that poor clock, and then her walking out of a bar.
Oh man, that one was cool. I love both these teaser trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously it shows that she has a degree of super strength and
Right.
some fighting ability, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. There was about, about 10 to 15 guys on the ground in that bar when she walked out.
I think I saw a couple of girls too. So
yeah, there's some females
she's an
in there.
equal opportunist ass kicker.
Yeah. It was, that was hopefully indicative of what kind of action we'll get to see. Maybe the events leading up to that aftermath, or unless they just did that as a teaser. But still, I'm sure there'll be plenty of mayhem.
Yeah, definitely. I'm wondering. We've all already seen the super strength, and I guess invulnerability or a certain degree of it's implied with that.
Right.
And I don't think alcoholism is a superpower, so we'll go about that. I wonder if they're going to display her flight at all.
What was the name of that? Freaking. Was it Hancock?
Hancock, with Will Smith.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what he is, except for the whole flying thing.
Yeah, well, at least she has an apartment too, and I guess it looks like it'll be a fairly successful business.
Well, I mean, Hancock had a house, or didn't he? Or was that freaking Charlize Theron?
He had like a trailer van thing.
Oh, okay.
Up on a mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, but totally an alcoholic. So.
Oh my goodness, was he ever? And I don't know if she has a healing factor or whatever, but she has to have a degree of it at least. All superheroes do.
Maybe not as good as you think. If what's her face is supposed to be in this too. The nurse from Daredevil.
The night nurse.
Yeah.
Well, it could be that she heals faster than average human. Probably Spider-Man, on average, can usually heal a broken arm or a leg in a few days.
Yeah. Okay,
so
I got you.
It could be that she needs
stabilization.
Stabilization, patchwork on severe injuries.
Right.
We don't. And this makes me wonder about the budget they're putting for this show, because those special effects aren't cheap, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. initially got a lot of flack for some cheapness with their superpower displays.
I don't think that was. I don't think that most of that stuff was cheap, though. I don't get what they're saying. If that's what's being said.
Well, to be fair, they were just bashing on S.H.I.E.L.D. to bash on S.H.I.E.L.D., I think. So
I guess. All right, you want to go ahead and take the next one?
Yeah, this one's funny because I actually almost predicted this.
I was going to say, didn't we have a conversation about this before?
We did have a conversation about this. Apparently, Marvel is making a damage control series. I don't know if this has been a talk since before DC's Powerless or not.
I think that's when we actually talked about it, was when Powerless was coming out.
Yeah, when they first announced Powerless, that's when I brought up, hey, this sounds like damage control in a way.
Right.
Well, while it's very similar to the overall concept of Powerless from DC, there's a lot of differences. One, damage control is an insurance company. They do some reconstructive work. They get a way to get rid of the damage. They round up defeated bad guys that the superheroes may have forgotten about.
It's basically the cleanup crew.
Pretty much a cleanup crew. They usually get low-level supers to work for them, or people that other powers aren't really that useful in major combat.
Right.
But this is going to be a comedy show set in the Marvel universe, cinematic universe, and will be on ABC. So it might be after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess. Variety has reported this for us, by the way.
Hopefully they spread it out, and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.'s on Tuesdays. Throw it on Thursday or Friday to round out. I don't know how the slots are falling right now, but then again, the major network televisions are, so volatile with shows that anything it could get canceled at any moment. So
true, but
it sounds like it could fill a slot on like what used to be TGIF, back
It
in the
does
day.
sound like a TGIF show, and I missed that freaking block of shows. But the thing about damage control that I find interesting is that occasionally they've been portrayed as villains.
Oh, really?
In the comic, yes, they're usually on the side of the angels, kind of, but some of their higher up executives have actually assisted in causing more damage, like helping give supervillains access to drugs that boost their powers temporarily, so they cause more damage, so they get more money. That was a big part of Civil War, because while the superheroes were clashing with each other, Wolverine actually went and tracked down the villain that was directly caused the killing of the children,
Oh,
Nitro, who used his detonative powers. He was on the drug, the mutant growth hormone, which is like the human growth hormone, but for mutants and superpowered beings.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where he just followed the trail up, and then he found out that Damage Control's executives were behind it, trying to get more money.
I got you. Well, that makes sense, though. I mean, they're trying to keep themselves in business, right?
That's right, and that could mean eventually that they might clash with Shield. That'd be an
Yep.
interesting crossover to me.
And totally plausible. I mean,
Because depending on the roster they pull for Damage Control, they may not need Thor to come down and beat them up. It could be a couple of Inhumans and Agent Coulson and whoever that
right.
takes them out.
All right. That'll be interesting to keep an eye on, see what happens. But I mean, that's down the road. They haven't really put any hard stuff down on it yet, so we've got some time to wait to see what it's got. So, and speaking of which, we can segue right into the next one. Agents of Shield season 3 premiered, and
I missed it.
It was really good. I liked it. A lot of fallout from the previous season, and kind of showing. They without spoiling too much or any of it at all. You obviously see Sky or Daisy at this point now. What looks like completely under control of her own abilities now. So I guess the new suit works fine. And
it works for me, I'll say that.
It seems like the new mission at this point is trying to round up the people that have been identified or have made themselves stand out as Inhumans. So they're really focusing on the Inhumans this season, and apparently somebody else is chasing after them besides Shield. So
that was going to be my next question. Have they revealed who was chasing after the Inhumans? Because I did see that one promo.
They have not yet. They made it seem like it was a senator, but it turns out it's not. So it should be interesting to see who's maybe it's another small cell of Hydra or something. I'm trying to remember if they did show who it was. I don't remember. I'd have to watch it again and try and totally break it down and see who was there and all that good stuff. So, but very good. They kind of at the end of the episode gave a little hint at what's going on with Gemma. After she got she had a good cliffhanger moment at the end of the second season, so they kind of show where she disappeared to.
Oh well, finally.
Yeah, well, I mean, we only had to wait a whole summer, so
yeah.
It's the longest summer ever. So
I'm telling you, this is why I rarely watch TV shows live anymore. I can't handle cliffhangers. I'm just not emotionally strong enough.
All the usual suspects are there, but I don't remember seeing Agent May. Or maybe she just wasn't featured much in there, so, or maybe I was distracted a little.
Well, she was back trying to rebuild her civilian life as well. So.
Right. There's been rumors that she may step away from the show, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, that's going to be unfortunate.
Right.
But, well, I mean, if they're moving in a new direction, then it would make sense that this would be like a decent time for her to move away if she wanted.
Right. All right. Well, we don't have a picture for this next one because I think we've seen all the Transformers pictures posted all over the internet. Anyways, Hasbro's confirmed 4 more Transformers movies.
They might have enough plot to fit into one.
If that.
Yeah.
Across the whole series, baby.
Yeah, it's, how they managed to get such a great plot for an animated movie from the 80s, which was basically killing off the old generation so they could introduce a new line of toys.
Right.
But that one is better constructed than all of these $100 million blockbusters, but the big budget ones.
Yeah.
It's beyond me.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what they could do to make them better. Maybe less explosions, or that's the Michael Bay effect talking. But...
I'll go ahead and tell you. Take the humans out. Let it be about the Transformers. Because guess what? They have their own personalities and their own character flaws. You don't have to have your stupid humans that just fit one stereotype. Oh, that's the sassy black guy. Oh, that's the older man that's attracted to a younger woman that talks about carrying around consent cards and age of consent. And that was creepy in the last movie, okay? It was creepy.
Right.
Michael Bay, you're creepy.
Yeah, so maybe more Marky Mark. I didn't watch the new one, so I have no idea what happened to him by the end of the movie. So,
well, he didn't die. He didn't blow up, or he didn't become a Transformer himself, or whatever. And Optimus left the planet, but they still want to put Marky Mark in the rest of them, or as many movies as they can get him in. And I say the nay. Okay, I want to see more Optimus, more Bumblebee. I want to see Metroplex. I want to see. Who's the other one? Oh my goodness, what's his name? He used a sledgehammer in one of the latest cartoons. Not Sentinel Prime. He was in 3. He gave the Matrix of leadership. Optimus gave the Matrix of leadership to him in the cartoon.
Great.
What's his name? Look that up for me, Secretary.
All right. Well, while you're thinking of that, one of the other things that's not in the notes, I forgot to put it in there. It was a last minute thing. Yesterday, they broke news about the Assassin's Creed movie that Jeremy Irons and Brendan Gleeson have both joined the cast of the movie, or they've revealed that they are part of the cast of the movie. So, Brendan Gleeson played a hell of a Templar in Kingdom of Heaven. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
I watched that one. I wasn't impressed with it.
Yeah, he was the... that
was the Orlando Bloom movie, right?
Yeah. He played... Brendan Gleeson played Rene de Chantillon, and he was the marauding Templar. So I could only assume that he's probably going to play that same type of role. I mean, like the last few things we've seen him in. The last major thing that we've seen him in was Edge of Tomorrow. Which I highly recommend that movie, by the way, especially if you like video games.
I still haven't checked it out yet.
And it was, I think he'd be fine fitting back into that type of role as a Templar. Jeremy Irons probably for the Assassins Society or whatever.
So. Yeah, he's probably the mentor one that's going to train the young one or whatever, and then gets killed off like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Makes sense. That's kind of his thing.
The plot that I read, I hope this isn't the actual plot. They just were like, we have no clue what the Assassin's Creed story's about.
Right.
So that website you linked me to worried me, where they said that, the guy becomes an assassin after finding out that he's an ancestor, as opposed to him reliving his ancestors' moments.
Right.
And then they're using the modern time as a framing device for a movie that's a flashback.
Yeah,
basically.
It'll be interesting to see when they start releasing stuff. I would assume I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to speak too soon, but
yeah.
I kind of hope that they do follow the game's formula. I like that better. There'll be stuff going on in the real world, but with imperative for him to figure out his ancestors' past. I mean, it's a good storyline.
Yeah, I mean, they could do something like the villains capture him, put him in an animus because they're trying to find out the secrets of the assassins or whatever. That would
Right.
actually that'd be a cool storyline. And then, if obviously they're going to want to do at least a trilogy of these movies, then as he goes through that, the Templars are probably trying to train as like a counter weapon or something. Then he merges their training and what he's learning from his ancestors into assassin abilities.
Right.
And then at the end, he becomes the modern Assassin Creed badass guy. Look at that. Hollywood hire me. Forget Mark Miller.
Or Michael Fassbender could be playing an older Simba, and Jeremy Irons will kill his father or something. No. Spoilers. All right. All right, let's go on back to the back on track here. The Spl-At list has been revealed.
And actually, it should have premiered tonight, or it will be premiering tonight.
Oh, yeah. 10 p.m.
Heck yeah. I wish I had TV.
Right?
But it's online as well, isn't it? Anyways.
Oh, yeah. They've got the online stuff.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't been paying attention to our podcast, well, shame on you. But here's the Spl-At list of the 90s cartoons that are coming back. You want me to take the first one? Do we want to...
Go ahead.
You want me to read them all?
Go ahead.
I'll read them all. All That, Angry Beavers, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Cat Dog, Clarissa Explains It All. Hey Arnold, Hey Dude, Keenan and Kel, The Ren and Stimpy Show, Legends of the Hidden Temple, man, that was a great one. Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, Salute Your Shorts.
I love Salute Your
Shorts.
That was a good show. I like that one.
That was a good one. I love the theme song of it. And the Wild Thornberrys, who really, what made that show was Tim Curry as Nigel.
Yeah, otherwise, I don't know. There's a lot of good ones on there that I cherish and hold dear to my childhood. This might be a good way to force my kids to watch it. Though we've been trying to get Christopher to actually sit down and watch Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh.
He was actually doing good watching a couple of scary movies. Like, he wasn't scared of Freddy. He watched A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was kind of mad because the wife let him watch it, and I was like, you're going to scare him. And obviously Emma was terrified, but Christopher, he's just eating it up. He was having fun. He did not do well with Child's Play, so that didn't last long. And one of our Halloween decorations that we dug out was actually a Chucky doll that I got on discount one year while I was back up living in Michigan. But, yeah, that had to go away as well. So that's living in our closet, and I sleep in terror.
Well, I mean, at least you're not, like, hiding it randomly around the house. Like, it's slowly getting closer to you.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's what my dad would have done to me.
Right. All right.
Horrify me into a coma.
And like we said, that tonight begins tonight, October 5th, on Teen Nick from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., which... That's a really good block to put in the Teen Nick section, because the older people like us are still up at that time, and it gives us something to jog our memories of yesteryear.
Yeah, how we always wish we could be on Legends of the Hidden Temple. That I was totally going to get on that show, and I could fix that monkey statue, but no, alas, I never did.
Hey, did the Wonder Years run into that time, or is that just me remembering even further back?
No, the Wonder Years was on one of the. Was it on? It was like on ABC or NBC or something.
Yeah, but it ended up on Nickelodeon at a certain point.
Yeah, Nick at Night with the really retro shows.
Ugh. Don't say that like that. It ran from 1988 to 1993, so...
Yeah, well, I watched the Wonder Years as well, so trust me, it's just we're old now. We're old.
Right.
Old fogies.
All right, the next thing we've got, Robbie Amell wants to play Batman Beyond. And,
or is it Amell? Isn't he like Stephen Amell's brother?
I guess. However you pronounce his name. We're butchering last names like crazy.
I don't know. Who cares about last names? They're for nerds.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's a quote from him. I'm a huge fan of that idea. I think the problem is that because they have a Batman going on right now, they don't want to make a Batman Beyond movie until I'm too old to be Terry McGinnis, which you kind of already are. You look like you're as old as me. You're just more in shape and prettier. I think it would be a great property. I think the smartest idea for them would be to make a $30 million movie, kind of like the Deadpool movies, only $50 million DC, Warner Brothers. Don't do a big $200 million blockbuster. Do a dark, gritty version of Batman Beyond. The visual effects have come so far that you don't need $200 million to show the technology that they have. Make it a nice, grounded character piece. But I don't run a studio, so that means nothing.
Is that basically what Batman Beyond is? It's like a gritty. Well, I mean, Batman's should be gritty anyways, but like a gritty future.
Wasn't really gritty. It wasn't really that gritty, I don't think.
Oh, really?
It was like your average cyberpunk.
Okay.
That you had mega corporations that were running around and bossing other people around. You had ineffectual police officers.
We want it's the corporate future that we all want for our movies and or from our favorite movies like Blade Runner and that Continuum show that's just about to wrap up here shortly.
Which funny enough, but I'll imagine obviously you're gonna remember the Joel Schumacher modern movies, the Batman and Robin and Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And how they showed it really bright and neon lights,
right?
Everything. Actually, I could imagine that as like a really insane Gotham City for.
Well, that's kind of how it is in the Arkham games, though. You've got all the neon lights for Ace Chemicals and stuff, and
but this had neon lights on everything.
On everything, yeah,
everything. Even the Batmobile had them for some reason. But no, and then
that's terrible.
Well, it did. But then you have like the lower section where Terry McGinnis kind of lives, they were more middle class, really. They weren't lower class, but where it's more muted, and the more rougher characters are there. And then you can have the Jokers there. What? Perfect casting for the old Bruce Wayne would be Michael Keaton in makeup.
Yeah, there you go.
Old people makeup, or
old people makeup.
Or Kevin Conroy. Let him do the old Batman voice. Because remember, Batman Beyond the cartoon and Batman the animated series were running together at the same time. And the writers were working both shows. So they could pull characters as they needed. Like you saw an old Bane in Batman Beyond, so they could know where he led up to in the Batman cartoon.
Yeah.
And they just had Kevin Conroy do the same voice. Just like an older Bruce Wayne voice. And it was absolutely perfect.
I got you.
So I totally agree with this movie. I agree, do it low budget, do it simple. The tech is there now for us to do it. I just think Robbie Amell is too old. Currently, he plays Firestorm on The Flash and will be featured in X-Files as well. There is speculation that Amell will be leaving The Flash, as Robbie Amell is not a part of the Firestorm character in the Arrow Flash spinoff, DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
There's a picture of him as Firestorm. And yeah, we got a X-Files trailer this week too. That looked pretty good.
But, I didn't see it. I know that it's like Mulder trying to get Scully back into the game. He's like, I can't do this without you.
Mulder looks old.
Well, hey man, you tried chasing UFOs and mutated leeches and ghosts and stuff for how many years he did it and not look old and crazy.
Let me put it this way. David Duchovny looks old. He's getting up there, so fair is fair. But oddly, Gillian Anderson doesn't look too much older than she used to, so good for her. But
she was, yeah.
So I didn't know he was gonna actually be in that. Robbie Amell in X-Files. Probably a young bucking FBI agent or something.
Could be. Because we really don't know where the X-Files is going to go to with their storyline. They could kill off one of the older investigators. He could be killed off. You
don't think they're going to try?
One show just to,
You don't think they're going to try and do a passing? You don't think they're going to try and do a passing of the torch and try and start up the series again, do you?
I really hope not, because I don't know. I like them as the characters. Everybody loves those two characters.
I don't think.
I mean, how many parodies and homages did they inspire?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a beloved series. I know all the. I don't know. I didn't really watch it, but I know kids my age when I was younger, they were all into it. So between that and Friends.
I never got into Friends. I did watch some X-Files, but it always kind of creeped me out, like the opening did. So
Right.
I didn't watch it too much. Like with Are You Afraid of the Dark? I always had to make sure that I did not watch the opening of that because that was sometimes scarier than the stories they would tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got on that. So I don't know. Hopefully I just want a Batman Beyond movie.
Oh, this is interesting. Did you already say this about him possibly leaving his Firestorm?
Yeah,
I missed that. I was flipping through the pictures because I forgot to advance them. It's new technology, people. We've got pictures now, and I keep forgetting to flip them. Guys. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even notice that either when I saw the Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, man, just thinking about that, thinking about even Lucifer when that comes out. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, man, that's the one I got to catch.
One of our mutual friends gave me a book at work the other day by Neil Gaiman called Neverwhere. Oh. I need to dig into that, and I haven't even finished. And I was telling him, I says, I don't need another book. I haven't even finished Ready Player One yet, and Mitch is already complaining at me. So.
Yeah. Now you've reminded me about it. So you need to finish that. Come on.
Yeah.
Your wife can do all the painting and cleaning.
Yeah. All right. The next thing we got is the new Ghostbusters movie.
We've been trying not to talk about this one.
To guest star almost the entire original cast. Almost, obviously, because a couple are missing. But
sadly, as we reported before, Harold Ramis has passed away, unfortunately.
And Rick Moranis hasn't been acting.
Yeah, he quit acting when his wife died of cancer.
To spend more time with the kids and take care of them and all that, which is awesome. Good on him. There has been talk.
They're adults? Yeah,
they're adults now. There has been talk that he may come back to do some more acting, which would be awesome. Because, man, I'm such a huge fan of Spaceballs and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and all those. And he's a really good actor.
Little Shop of Horrors?
Little Shop of Horrors was awesome. That was a different character. Right? Yeah.
And, he's such underrated for his comedic timing was absolutely perfect,
Yeah.
And how he could improvise and everything, it was just amazing. But, they're getting this entire cast together. They're not having them play the same characters. It's already been said that Dan Aykroyd's playing a caddy. So what's the point of putting them in this movie, trying to make your stupid idea seem worthwhile? Or people are going, I'm not going to go spend, $40 on tickets just to see Dan Aykroyd be funny for about 5 minutes, or Bill Murray be funny for about 5 minutes.
Right.
And then, not only that, but they're doing all this stuff to try to make it look like, oh, well, we really care. But the director has actually been throwing hissy fits online about people that are mad over this because it's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Well,
there's been some. Some of the other shows I listen to, they talk back and forth about this too, and how you should give it a chance on its own merits. There's always that misconceived notion that it's going to destroy our childhood because it's Ghostbusters, but at the same time, I mean, put a new subtitle under it. Don't just call it the Ghostbusters like they're doing. Do something to distinguish it from the originals, I guess. But
here's the thing with them, okay? They keep saying this is a sequel. But then they say, no, it's a remake. But then they say it's kind of a remake, it's kind of a sequel, it's kind of a prequel, or whatever. They can't make up their mind on it. Well, then they're saying, no, this is going to be a whole new thing. But then they're like, well, let's bring in the original cast. But then they don't want to utilize the original cast as a passing of the torch, as cliched as that is.
Right.
That would help validate some of it. And then you have the director going online and complaining about people having opinions counterpoint to his, and this is basically setting up how the Fantastic Four went down.
So what's gonna happen is they're gonna film a movie, And then the $20 million that was supposed to be used for the 3D version of it, they're going to use that to refilm some stuff and make it a passing of the torch. And they'll make Doctor Doom not a mad blogger. Oh wait, different movie.
Yeah, that line's
I
blurring every day.
I have a feeling this is going to be more successful than the fantastic failure, fantastic flop, whatever you want to call it.
But to be fair, most of them have an established fan bases already. Christina Wigg, Melissa McCarthy. They might not be the biggest fan bases, but they do have established fan bases that will go. Instead of a bunch of unknowns like in Fantastic Four, and then you have people that like director Kevin Feige or whatever his name is. They like his work, even though they don't realize that his work's basically been, hey, let's take The Hangover, and instead of men, let's put a bunch of women.
Yeah. Like I said, trading on the name is probably the biggest problem I have with it. There has been no announced subtitle, and for that, I still have my what do you call it? Apprehensions with it, but reservations. I don't know. Like I said, I think it'll do okay. It will probably be successful. Considering income to the amount of money that they put into it, but I don't know. I don't think it will be that which we hold in our hearts with the first. Well, at least the first one. I know a lot of people don't like the second one for some reason, but
I really enjoy it. I mean, yes, it's basically the same plot as the first, but
right. It's still good. I like it.
It's still funny. I mean, and it doesn't help that they're picking one of the funniest movies of all time with one of the best casts ever put together. Every single one of those writer/director/actors, whatever you want to say, was so on point with their acting, with their line delivery, with the comedic timing. Like we've said, every single person was on their absolute A game. So it's hard to, I mean, it's Bill Murray, it's Harold Ramis, it's Dan Aykroyd.
Those are basically the definitions of the Ghostbusters. That's when you say Ghostbusters, that's what you see. So, I don't know. Sometimes I really wish that Hollywood would come up with some new ideas.
And here's another issue people have with it is that they had two other options in their hands. They had a video game that was made, the third one, right, which had you playing as a rookie, which they could have done something like that where the older cast were more like celebrities now, so they gave new people the grunt work,
Right.
They might they go and sign autographs and do all that crap, but they hand off the actual real work, which that totally fits Bill Murray's character. Peter Venkman was not a hands-on guy. He wanted the spotlight.
Right.
So that would have been totally good. Then you had the Extreme Ghostbusters, which was the older Ghostbusters had quit. Only Egon was left actually trying to do the work, and he couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
So he got some of his students to come do it, which they could have, worked it around, and
Right.
But
I got you. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like I said, it'll remain to be seen. I guess we'll see where it goes. The next thing.
Also, real quick, they do have.
Okay.
There's rumor that supposedly they're thinking about making a cartoon as well. So I don't know if it's a remake of the old Ghostbuster cartoon,
the real Ghostbusters,
the Funimation Ghostbusters, or the real Ghostbusters, or the Extreme Ghostbusters, or they're going to go with this cast of Ghostbusters. But I'd love another real Ghostbusters. No, that was a good cartoon.
You'd think they'd have to go all in and just do the female cast, but hey, that's neither here nor there.
I'm sure they'll wait and see how the movie does really before they invest a lot, because it's a lot of money to make a cartoon.
Yeah, nowadays. This ain't your grandpa's cartoons. All right, the Terminator series has been terminated. It is on hold. The series is on hold indefinitely following U.S. box office's failure of the newest installment, Genesis. Probably because they gave away a major plot line, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The
I was absolutely interested in this movie until saw the plot in the trailer. I'm like, oh well, that's it. Never mind.
Yeah, that crap. Our mutual friend that I was talking about earlier, he had went to see a movie and had walked in, unfortunately, during a Genesis trailer before the movie. I can't remember what one it was. I think it might have been Ultron or something. And he's like, yeah, totally ruined it for me. Can't go see it now. So now there we go.
Before we go into the rest of the details, the directors and writers have to start communicating better with whoever cuts up the trailers, because this is becoming an epidemic. This has happened several times now. You know, I know it's their job to get people, and they're going to pick the coolest scenes. And they don't know what might have hit in the cutting room floor, but somebody has to be on point with them and say, "Hey, no, this does not need to happen.
Right.
You do not need to put that in the trailer for free."
Yeah, you ain't kidding. The plans for the cinematic universe are based on a long-running man versus machine sci-fi saga.
It's also been shelved.
Which has also been shelved, yeah. Terminator Genesis so far has scored more than $440 million worldwide on the back of a $112 million haul in China. But new reports suggest a weak $89 million U.S. total and $150 million budget means it still loses money. Yeah, because they say the budget's $150 million, but that does not even count any of the money that the release
in advertisements.
Yeah, the advertisement and all that good stuff. That doesn't count any of that. So
no, it doesn't.
Forbes magazine suggests Hollywood Studios receives only 20 to 30% of receipts from Chinese cinemas. Holy crap! Compared to roughly 50% from other territories. Such a dynamic could explain why success in the U.S. remains the gold standard for a big budget fantasy fare. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I mean, it's well rewarded for the garbage that they put out.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them at all.
It's kind of like the video game companies. I mean, I listen, Blizzard fanboy, I guess, but they put out quality work and they don't put it out till they think it's ready, instead of trying to rush it, and that leads to tons of people buying their stuff and continuing to use their products year over year. These movie studios need to figure that out. They need to figure out what brings people back, because they are not doing well. They get the hits every now and then, but it's on the backs of the property, like the Lost World, freaking Jurassic World, Avengers, all those things they're kind of. I have one of my employees. He grew up, and he said in one of his giant hopes in life was that there would be another good Jurassic Park movie. And when Jurassic World came out, he absolutely lost it. So that's what I mean. It's riding on the tails of those previous installments of the movie, and that's kind of like my gripe with Ghostbusters. It's like they're just trying to make they want Jurassic World money. That's what they want. They don't want to come up with a new idea. They want something like that. And they're
wanting Jurassic World money, but they don't want to put forth. People criticize Jurassic World that doesn't have the heart that the original did, and they're right. But it still had the fun and action, and
and dinosaurs,
and dinosaurs, which you can't really go wrong with that. But they let it know, like from the start, they knew, hey, this is about the name of the product, as opposed to these other people that are kind of trying to hide that behind their back. They're like, no, we're not just trying to milk money from you just because of brand recognition.
Right.
Because, it was built, the park was built around Jurassic Park, and they had all these references to the previous movie. The one guy was in the shirt,
right,
the Jurassic Park shirt, and stuff like that. And there was even a joke, don't you think that's in poor taste? Well, yeah, people died, but the park was legit. And comments like that.
Yeah.
So it was like they were like, tongue-in-cheek references to themselves.
Yeah. All right, well, why don't you go ahead and take the next one?
Yeah, this is I don't know how I feel about this one, but HBO confirms that they're in talks for a Watchmen series. Preliminary discussions regarding Watchmen have occurred, but we have no additional information and no deals are yet in place. So this is a thing, but not really a thing, but might become a thing, maybe, yet.
Right.
I don't know. Are they going to retell the movie, which is based off the comic book, graphic novel? Are they doing a prequel? Are they doing a sequel?
For God's sakes, put pants on Dr. Manhattan.
No, that's part of who he is, though.
I know, but
it's supposed to show his disconnect with humanity.
Anytime I woke up during that movie, it was always him standing there in the buff.
In all of his glory, yes. I wonder if he... But, but that was an aspect of his character which I kept trying to explain to people. They're like, oh, they just put a penis in there just to be vile and gross. And I'm like, no. It's showing that he's so far apart from regular humanity that he doesn't understand stuff like that anymore. It was frustrating for me as a fan of the character and the whole concept.
Well,
because what if you gave somebody if you gave me a fraction of his power?
Yeah,
I would be naked all the time too.
Listen, my only hope for this is that for some ungodly reason they secured Jackie Earle Haley for Rorschach. I think that was awesome. That was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, that was probably the best casting of the film. Yeah. Not to say that the rest of the cast did bad. He was just that good as Rorschach.
Yeah, incredible actor. He's got some good range, and he's been doing it for a while. I totally forgot going through some of his old stuff that he was that young bratty kid in The Bad News Bears.
Wow, he has been doing it for a while.
So long ago, yeah. The original movie back in the, what was it, the 80s, 70s? Yeah, but man, his acting was spot on for Rorschach. I liked it. I liked this portrayal of the character, and I enjoyed I enjoyed his spot in RoboCop, the new RoboCop too. He was kind of a dick.
Still haven't seen that.
You haven't? I think it's still on Netflix. You should watch it. It's actually good. Just watch it.
Is it as good as the original?
No, it's not as good as the original, but this is one of those remakes that I'm okay with. The casting for Officer Murphy was really good. I like that actor too because the wife and I watched through The Killing, and he was good in that too.
Why keep his human hand though? Why keep his human hand?
The reasons were to still... It's basically the same premise as the reason why they kept pieces of Officer Murphy in the original movie, and that was to show his humanity, or show the facade of his humanity.
Because, well, basically, all they kept parts of his brain and parts of his face and parts of his digestive system, basically, for...
Yeah, dude. Listen, I'll
watch it.
You need to watch the new one because I tell you what, when they show what's left of him, even my freaking heart dropped, dude. That was crazy. It's amazing, and to think that maybe one of these days that kind of technology could be around, but an interesting and heartfelt moment at that point. And freaking Michael Keaton was awesome in that movie too.
Well, and Michael Keaton, so.
And Gary Oldman's in it too. I mean, you really can't go wrong with this movie. They did a really good job of casting people. Yeah, it was funny the first time I saw this the new RoboCop, I had just seen the Need for Speed movie. And and Michael Keaton was in that too, and I was like, holy crap, Michael Keaton's back out there again and hitting home runs. So
he needs to be out there. He's great. I love him.
Yeah.
I wish I could hug him.
Yeah.
Just once.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the gaming. Even though I think you spoiled some of that.
Well, I'm sorry. I get excited.
And did I get that picture? I did not. That's terrible. Oh! I'll get it. I'll get it while you're talking.
I got a picture. There he is right there. And he's got like a sad face and a sweat drop.
How did I miss this one?
And then there's this guy on my breasticle here.
All right, go ahead and start talking.
Okay, anyways, Mighty Number Nine's release date has been announced. There was footage at TwitchCon last week, and it looked pretty good. I guess it's last week now. I've tried the demo. I've already talked to you guys about that. It's fun. It's interesting. They use more of, as opposed to just when Mega Man, got the abilities from the bad guy, from the bosses, the Robot Masters. You can assimilate parts of your mooks as well, the regular opponents. They'll give you power ups like speed, more resistance, maybe repairing you some. So that's neat. We already talked about how the characters don't really act in cutscenes yet. They're not very expressive. I don't know if that's because they're trying to harken back to the retro days, or they just haven't finished the animations yet.
Right.
And also, I noticed that Mighty Number 9 looks like Sasuke from Mystical Ninja starring Goemon from Nintendo 64. If we can pull up that picture. Did you save that picture as well?
Hang on. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Here's the, that should be the Mega Man. Let's make sure that's pulling up. Mega Man. Yep, there you go. There are Mighty Number 9, my bad. There's the Mighty Number 9, and there's the Nintendo 64 one. You said Nintendo 64, right? So
yeah, he's from a game called Mystical Ninja starring Goemon.
Oh, okay.
Which was on, it's usually shortened to Goemon 64. He was,
I remember
I know he was at least one or two games on the SNES.
Yeah, I got you.
Do you remember him? Oh, that was a fun game.
I remember it now. I remember the title.
If anybody wants to, you remember the title?
Yeah.
If anybody wants to send me a copy of that, I will be your friend, I guess. On Facebook, I will poke you. I'll do the pokes. That's still a thing, right?
So you said the game's pretty good, though?
Yeah, it's fun. I hope they are. I would prefer to get my digital download for my Xbox One. I think they said. I hope I agreed to that one, because playing on my laptop kind of sucks.
Right.
Especially when I've got bad cables to play them.
Right.
But whatever. It gives me hopes. We've been bashing Mighty Number 9 lately, and as a backer, I was especially vicious. But now I've got a little bit more confidence. Do you know when the release date is? Because I don't have it in the notes. I forgot to put it in, or you forgot to put it in.
Mighty Number 9?
Yes. We discussed this already. It's like February, right?
Yeah, I think it was in February. There we go. We'll get that
February 9th or something.
Now it says March. I don't understand.
Oh, March. Whatever. Hey, sometime next year, people.
It says the game is releasing on February 9th, so... And February 9th in North America and February 12th in the rest of the world, so... So we'll go with that. Okay. That's actually from the MightyNumber9.com FAQ, so... We'll report that, so... All right.
Yes, I will give a review on that on the show. Maybe.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get this bashing over with again. Yes. Konami says it will continue Metal Gear with Kojima. I guess we'll see.
Without Kojima. I'm sorry.
Oh, it says with. Oh, was it without? I thought I read that there was an article that said with Kojima.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I thought it was said without. Well, with or without, they're going to try to continue the Metal Gear series. I thought I saw announcements or rumors today that they're thinking about a pachinko game about Metal Gear, like they're doing with Silent Hills.
Yeah, it does say we'll continue without Kojima. Okay.
Yeah.
Little error in the notes. Whatever.
Yeah. That's all good. We drink when we make these notes.
Yeah.
No, we don't. The disclaimer: alcohol is bad, and you should feel bad when you drink it. Right.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what they do. Like I said, there's a lot of mad people when they said they weren't going to console games, that they no more Metal Gear, and apparently they left the ending of 5 pretty wide open, even though I haven't got to that yet. I can't report on that first person, but
don't spoil anything for us.
But apparently they left it wide open for a sequel, or a continuation at some point. So. I don't know. I like the game, and I hope they continue to make it. I will buy the next one if they make it, because this one got me right back into it. Back when I haven't played since I think the last one I finished completely was 2. I played some of 3, and I'd never played 4. So
3 was the best.
So I keep hearing, but I need a good copy of it. Not a.
I don't have a copy.
Yeah.
I can't give you one.
Well, I need to just pick up one of those HD collections. I think you can get it on the 360. So.
Yeah, I think so. Well, my question is, do they still have the other developers that worked on it besides just Kojima? Do they have the rest of the team?
See,
what about?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know if he was if the whole studio left with him or what, because he had his own studio, his own group of employees. So, did they leave out of loyalty and go with him, or did they stick around and Kojima was just asked out? I don't know.
Yeah, and even let's say that there are still developers at Konami who are willing to work with Konami over this. Do they have access to Kojima's notes? Because this was his brainchild, He built this thing almost from the ground up, this entire series.
Yeah,
and even if they have...
But Kojima doesn't... Okay, so here's a little law thing, okay? And I'm not a professional in law, but Konami actually owns the license and the property of Metal Gear, the title. So anything
they own all the characters and stuff.
If anything that Kojima produced would be required to be left at his workplace because it's connected to the title, and he could not take that with him. If he took anything with him, he took copies of it, but any original works, no matter what, sketches, ideas for storyboards and stuff like that, that all has to stay. He cannot take that, or he could be in a lot of trouble. It would be like, what's his face? Marty, what's his name at Destiny? Say he took all... Well, that's a perfect example. That was part of the agreement, was that he return all copies of the music that he produced for Destiny. That was part of the settlement when he got his rights back and his ownership back. So, yeah. So that's going to be something that they have. So up to the point of wherever he stopped brainstorming, that's what they have. And if they kept people that... Listen, I'm sure somebody from his group stayed, and they probably got promoted to the head of the story. So,
kind of like a Cleon promotion. You kill your upper boss, and then you become him.
Yes, exactly.
But here's the thing: say they got all of his storyboards, all of his notes, the character designs and stuff. They still are lacking his mindset, and you got to admit, the Metal Gear series runs on insanity. The entire thing runs on insanity.
Oh, for sure.
It's just crazy concepts all around. Women that have to be in bikinis because they're photosynth. They run off photosynthesis and they mute. You have a 200-year-old sniper that you got guys that shoot bees out of their mouth. That's not written by he's a nice guy. It seems like, but he's not sane. He's like a more muted pseudo 5-1.
Don't forget the Native American with the machine gun.
Yeah, or the astronaut that was obsessed with fire or something.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So we'll see what they do with it. Hopefully they continue it, and hopefully it's to the same quality and standards. Maybe this is a good way for Kojima to sit there and actually enjoy it too.
At this point, I don't even know if Konami has any standards left.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. Maybe they'll get something right for a change. So, all right. Why don't you?
Like I said, there's a rumor that they're making a pachinko game out of Metal Gear. So no, I don't have any faith in them. So let's go from Konami. Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but from Konami to Ubisoft. You want to go ahead because we bash Konami all the time.
No, that's fine. Ubisoft is making a theme park. Yes. And as you can see pictured here, some of the faces will be inverted. It'll be interesting. Ubisoft... Well,
they will patch it later, okay?
I'm trying to imagine what that'll look like. Ubisoft
announced... they'll have roller coasters going, and then the end of it will be missing, and you just fall. Don't worry, we'll fix that later.
Yeah, Ubisoft.
I'm sorry, let's be professional.
However they pronounce it. Announced plans for a next generation theme park slated to open in 2020 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The park will be a 10,000 square meter indoor complex featuring rides, shows, and other attractions, all built around the Ubisoft games and characters. Ubisoft's intentions for the park is to immerse people in the reactive worlds where they can interact with each other and become the heroes of their own life-size game, says Jean de Rivières, Senior Vice President of Ubisoft Motion Pictures, which is leading the project. Having previously produced an award-winning Rabbids Dark Ride for the Futuroscope theme park in France. Oh, Futuroscope, my bad. Ubisoft Motion Pictures is creating the new park together with Malaysian theme park developer RSG. RSG will own and operate the park, while Ubisoft will maintain creative control over the attractions. Ubisoft will produce all digital media for the rides and help design guest journeys in the park to ensure visitors experiences at its best, says Rivières. Malaysia is the second most visited country in Asia, Rivières added, citing a 2014 report by the World Tourism Organization. There is room for multiple projects to take the route in the region and growing middle class with an increasing income and appetite for entertainment. Given the location, some of the sort of tie-ins with Far Cry 4 should happen, right? That would be pretty interesting. Big jungles and...
Hey, you got to go kill your own tigers and attach C4 to elephants there?
Whatever those... No, well... Yeah, I guess with the Far Cry 4. Yeah, the hawk attacks or eagle attacks.
Yeah.
I watched a quick little mini video of somebody being attacked by wolves or something like that, and then a hawk or an eagle comes and attacks them, and just when they thought they were out of the woods because they got the eagle to run away, they started kind of looking higher than their waist level up at the sky just to make sure, and started reloading their gun, and then looked down and there was a bear right there. Just nature after nature after nature trying to kill them. It was pretty funny.
This is why I don't want to go back into the woods ever again.
Right. Also,
hopefully, it's scary.
Also, hopefully they test the rights more than they test their games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one could only hope. That way we don't end up with inversions like this guy.
Speaking of rides, we've got California's Great America will be getting a Mass Effect ride. BioWare is teaming up with Cedar Fair to create a dynamic 3D adventure set in the Mass Effect universe. The interactive ride, curated by a live performer, will take guests on a journey to a distant planet where they will be facing off against larger-than-life foes and fight to save the day. Using cutting-edge 3D technology and 4D effects, the ride throws passengers right into the action, creating a fantastical adventure that they won't soon forget. The ride is expected to open in 2016 in California's Great America in Santa Carla, California. And I wonder if it's going to be based on the Mako, because everybody had a delight driving that thing, right?
Yeah, especially when it blew up.
It blew up, it flew off the freaking... You're trying to drive it around, and then it falls off a cliff. And
into the lava, and yeah. Yeah, that was... Mako 2.0 in, I guess Mass Effect 2 was actually decent.
Yeah, it did perform a little bit better, but, the trauma is still there.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I guess that'd be fun. I'm not going out to California for that.
Yeah.
I was hoping there was going to be a whole Mass Effect theme park. Now, that I would make a trip to California for.
Great. Explore the universe only at Mass Effect theme park.
Well, it would be more like the galaxy. Come on, let's not get crazy. And then have to fight the Reavers. Not the Reavers, the Reapers. The Reapers.
Wouldn't it be...
Reavers is from Firefly.
Wouldn't it be awesome just to ride one of those accelerators? What do they call them? The gates?
Oh, yeah, the Mass Effect gates.
Is it just called the Mass Effect gate?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are awesome.
Right? I think that's what they are. Somebody can retroactively correct us on that one. But yeah, that would be cool to see that. Maybe part of it will be escaping from the Normandy as it gets blown up again.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be cool.
All right, you want to go ahead and take the next one?
Yeah, we've already mentioned Ubisoft one time and their neat ideas. So let's talk about one of their terrible ideas. Ubisoft has canceled the Augment Your Pre-Order scheme ahead of Deus Ex Mankind Divided's release. It didn't even get past the first stage, people, so you guys did the smart thing by laughing in their face.
Yeah.
A massive shots fired against stupid pre-order bonuses. Some pre-order bonuses are neat, but this was not. This was almost a ransom to me.
Yeah. Well, what was going to happen if they didn't get all the way to the end?
I don't know. They probably would have released it for free. Or no, this next part probably answers it. Is that Ubisoft has now decided to put microtransactions into Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So that's what would have happened. Instead of, they're going to get you coming and going.
Yeah, I know. It's a sad state of affairs, and unfortunately, unless there's a massive buck against the DLC thing, it'll just continue to happen.
Well, there's a difference between DLC and microtransactions to me. DLC is like additional content.
It is still a microtransaction.
It is still a microtransaction, but the way Ubisoft uses them, as I say, Bethesda,
Well, I mean, and you're even more extreme as Call of Duty, Activision, how they do that, like the weapon skins and stuff. I never understood that. Who cares what the gun looks like? You're gonna, you're looking at it, but you're not paying attention to it.
Exactly. And nobody else is going to be able to see it because hopefully by the time they've seen it, you've shot them.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Here's something official. Ubisoft has announced that, like Unity, the upcoming Assassin's Creed Syndicate will support microtransactions, which can be used to save time and accelerate progress. Director Francois Pelland also has noted. Rest assured, all of Syndicate's content is available without paying anything additional. The game has been balanced such that microtransactions are 100% optional until they become not optional. Yeah. Also, quick question. Do we spend $60 for a game to then pay extra money to not play the game?
Yeah, that goes to the people that it's the same crowd that complains about games being too short are the ones that use those to cut down on the time it takes to beat the game. It really annoys me when somebody gets a game and they beat it in the first 24 hours that it's been out, and then they complain. It's like, well, if you take the time to actually experience the content, then, what you will be complaining.
Just have fun with it. It's not a freaking job.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to some people it is, technically.
Well, even those guys, they still have fun with it, I hope.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they and that's the thing. They go play that game, and then a couple hours later, they're back to playing Battlefield or something like that and streaming that instead. So I'm not one to speed through a game. I think I've got about 20 to 30, maybe 40 hours into Metal Gear Solid, and I think I'm on story mission number 15, maybe. Well, and there's like 47 of them or something like that.
I guess we look at the games as, a hobby, something that we do for fun to wind down after a day of dealing with other crap. We want to be able to stab people in the face or jump on walking, talking mushroom monsters or whatever,
Yeah, but even still, sitting there playing it the way I do, it's not like I'm going slow. I'm being methodical in the things I'm doing, trying to make sure that I'm not setting off alarms in Metal Gear Solid. But these other guys that are beating them in a few hours, it's like, what are you doing? How are you speeding through this so fast?
They're killing everybody. That's how I did it.
I guess. I mean, so I mean,
or they're just that good.
You're paying your $60, or in my case, $48. I guess play with it the way you want to, but you put out those reviews that say, oh yeah, this has only got about 30 hours of play. It's like 30 hours to you if you just sit there in front of it for 30 straight hours. But But anyways, I digress.
Hey, I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
Why is EA considered the worst company in America?
Okay, I give up.
Because Ubisoft is in France.
Oh, good one. That's terrible.
Put in a laugh track in there, so everybody thinks I'm pretty and funny.
I don't have one of those. I got one of these. Exactly. All right. Well, let's not beat on Ubisoft anymore. They made a good decision here with the Deus Ex thing.
And then they went and made a dumb decision, so it kind of balances out.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. I think Assassin's Creed's getting long in the tooth. I think we're going to see the end of that series soon. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll go out on top. Too late, but whatever.
Yeah. Go out on top, that would have been Assassin's Creed 2, I
Right.
think.
All right, the last thing we got is Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront's beta is this week. It starts on the 8th.
That's Wednesday or Thursday?
It is Thursday. It is an open beta, so everyone can play. They want to just go ahead and stress test it. This is the smartest thing they've decided to do. DICE has found that if they don't, then you get the catastrophes of Battlefield 3 and then Battlefield 4 when they release that. You can, if you get it on the PC, which I will be doing PC and Xbox, the PC, you get to preload on the 7th. So a day early to make sure it's ready to go. And all the console peasants, including myself, I guess, get to download it on the day of, on the 8th. So there'll be 2 modes. Where did because I didn't cut any of that stuff out. I think there's gonna be 2 modes. It's the
just copy and paste what we said last week about the beta into the.
Oh yeah, we did mention all that, didn't we?
Or it was a week before, sometime.
Yeah, no, it was. I think it was last week. Yeah, the walker on Endor, the Forest Moon of Endor.
I think a Hoth.
And then the Hoth mission with the.
And then I think a new planet.
Oh yeah, that's right, the one on. What's the new planet called? Yeah, the new planet from Star Wars Episode 7.
I think they call it Nui.
That's not it.
That's it. That's the George Lucas told me. We were chatting last night over
George Lucas doesn't do that anymore.
Listen, George Lucas hasn't done Star Wars since the 80s, so
yeah, well,
it's been some kind of diabolical clone.
Oh, this is interesting too. There's another article that says it's not just Battlefield reskinned, which everybody was worried about. No iron sights. What? I can't play this.
0 out of 10.
All right. This is kind of neat. I was kind of curious about this. So there's the 40-player asymmetrical walker assault where the Empire is defending the walker while the rebels are trying to destroy it. There's a co-op survival mode where 2 friends fight off stormtrooper hordes. That sounds awesome. And then apparently Drop Zone, which is a smaller 8 versus 8 version of something like Headquarters, which is the Call of Duty mode, where you go and you defend a radio beacon or whatever. It's teams fight to secure pods that drop into the map. So those are the 3 different things you'll be able to do. Which we'll have to try that co-op survival thing. I like those kind of things. My buddy just showed me he was streaming it the other day. It's a independent title that's in beta right now. It's called Killing Floor 2. It's basically it's like Nazi zombies with demons and zombies and all kinds of other crap. And there's even some cheesy German officer / zombie kind of thing that I can't remember what his name is. It's something ridiculous, but he's got like this shock attack and stuff like that. Very intense game. Lots of shooting and frenetic, frantic shooting.
Yes.
It's just everything's coming at you and from all directions, and
it's like crazy.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like 4 to 6 players or something like that on a fire team. So and they've got the support and tank and the damage dealer classes breakdown. So that's kind of neat. It'd be interesting to go ahead and try that eventually. And I know it's $30 on Steam right now for the early access. But from what I saw, probably definitely worth it. One of these days.
One of these days.
When I'm rich and famous.
One of these days, when I get a supercomputer that can run everything.
Yeah, well, we'll work on that. Maybe I can convert you from the consoles.
It's work in progress.
All right, well, that's it. That's all we've got. Thanks for listening, and please leave us feedback on our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, and anywhere else you can get our podcast, including the YouTube page when the videos are uploaded. We'd be more than happy to respond to your comments as long as they're within reason. And
depends how bored we are.
Please like and share and comment and subscribe. Wow, I put too many ands in there. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. We are currently where we are currently talking to you. That's was pretty funny. It sounds like you wrote that.
If only the delivery had been better.
Yeah, well, hey, first week of the new changes, so.
That's true. Well, you can connect. You can contact us at ECG_podcast on Twitter, at our YouTube page, www.facebook.com/ECGpodcast, or our email address at ecgpodcast@gmail.com. Also visit us at our webpage, www.stasisgeek.com. That's STASISGEEK.com. Or like Jamie said, post a comment. We'll probably read it. I mean, maybe.
All right, we'll be back next week, or actually next week. The next show will be on Friday. It'll be a short week, but we'll spread it out with some talk. Until then, stay geeky.